Ever since I built my first model rocket over 30 years ago, I've always wanted to see the launch from the rocket's perspective. I wanted to see the parachute deploy at apogee up close, and I wanted to see the rocket in the sky with the Earth in the background. With the recent purchase of a 360-degree action camera this year, I decided it was time to make this happen. So join me as we launch several $100s in video equipment on a homemade experimental rocket. The camera I am using for this project is my Insta360 X4. I purchased this camera earlier this year to help document my builds, and you have already seen footage I've recorded with it in my RTV videos and any shot where you see me painting in my backyard. I specifically wanted to use this camera for this project because with 360-degree recording, I know I can get footage of the parachute and body in flight without having to worry about the camera's orientation. I will stress this is my camera that I bought with my money. I do not have sponsors, so it is my actual filming equipment at risk with this flight. To secure the camera to the rocket, I designed a nose cone to take advantage of the 1/4-20 tripod thread on the camera. A long eye bolt is threaded through the base, along with a nylon nut to prevent it from rotating during flight, then threaded into the camera. This design ensures there is no printed component in tension between the camera and the parachute. For improved aerodynamics, I designed an aero cover that is placed over the camera and secured to the base with flathead screws. The cover is designed to stay on the sides of the camera in the blind spots, preserving the capability of the camera to record in all directions. The cover is also designed with a hole that allows the camera's power button to be pressed with a screwdriver or key so that the camera can be powered on at the launch pad to preserve the battery. At the other end of the rocket is the fin can. Like the nose cone, I designed the fin can in Fusion 360 and printed it in ASA so I wouldn't have to worry about the rocket sitting in the sun. The fin can contains an eye bolt for the shot cord and a 29mm motor mount to allow for the largest rocket motors I can purchase without special certification. Now, the actual motor that would be used was a trade-off between the desire to reach 1,000 feet and what motors were actually available at the time. I ended up settling on an Aerotech G8010. I won't explain what all those numbers mean in this video, but just know it is one of the most powerful rocket motors I can get without my level 1 certification, and it's estimated to punt this particular rocket to at least 1,500 feet. The fin can also contains heatset inserts that allow a 2.5-inch diameter body tube to attach to the fin can with 3 screws. Having a removable body tube is critical so the shot cord mount can be accessed. Inside the body tube is the recovery system, which consists of a 30-inch nylon parachute connected to about 12 feet of nylon shot cord. This long cord keeps the parachute, nose, and body together on the way down and helps disperse some of the shock when the parachute opens. The end of the cord closest to the motor is covered with a Kevlar sleeve to protect it from the hot ejection gases. To assemble the rocket together, the shot cord is run through the body tube, then secured to the fin can with a quick link. The body tube is then attached to the fin can with 3 screws, along with guide buttons that will hold the rocket to the aluminum extrusion launch tower. Finally, the shot cord is attached to the nose with a quick link, then everything is stuffed into the body tube, and we finally have our flight configuration. While I ran simulations and performed the required calculations for stability, the unique design of the nose left some questions, so I knew I would have to test the rocket first before I flew the camera. To keep the mass and shape the same, I made a stand-in for the Insta360 balanced with lead shot. I also included an altimeter in this mass simulator so I could compare the rocket's performance to the simulation estimates. If everything was correct, this 2.5-pound rocket would take the camera to about 1,500 feet. My first opportunity to test the rocket occurred in December of 25 when the local NAR chapter launched in Huntsville, Alabama. With almost no wind and a clear sky, it was time to see if the camera rocket, christened that morning as What the Duck, would fly in a straight line. And sure enough, the rocket was stable, except not everything went according to plan. Okay, found the rocket. We hit the ground hard, but I don't see any damage. The chute just tied itself in a knot, but it looks like it did survive. So I'm gonna reassess, but I think we're gonna go for it. Seeing that the rocket survived a fall with a tangled chute, flew straight, and reached over 1,300 feet, the camera was installed, the rocket was reloaded, and the only thing left to do was to light it and see what happens next.
Pretty good. After you have 1,500 feet, which is nice. All right, so you'll be able to get this back. All right, going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The launch went perfectly. Based on the altimeter on the first flight, the rocket left the pad pulling 10 Gs and reached a top speed of 246 miles an hour. After running out of propellant, the rocket drifted for 10 seconds to an altitude of 1,386 feet, where just as it ran out of vertical momentum, the ejection charge deployed the parachute for a controlled descent. Now, even when everything works on a model rocket, there's always the risk it will land somewhere you can't recover it. Especially in this case where I deployed the main chute at apogee, there was significant risk the rocket could drift into trees or a creek, and I would be staring at my camera and never able to retrieve it. As it turns out though, I wouldn't have to go far at all to recover the rocket.
It landed next to the car. It literally landed next to the car.
That's right, after traveling almost 1,500 feet in the air, the rocket landed a couple feet behind my car, just missing my working table and the car parked behind me. I know the phone is blocking my face, but I have a huge grin, and this was a very good day. Although I work on rockets for a living, getting video from a rocket I built in my garage is an amazing feeling, and I'm already figuring out how to launch the camera even higher next year. Now, you might think it's weird putting a rocket launch video on a prop and costume channel. However, it's really not. Many of the skills I use in prop building I learned from building amateur rockets, and many of the skills I've learned from prop building have also been applied to rockets, both amateur and professional. I want to give a big shout out to my friends Patrick and Jake for giving me a hand with the launch logistics in this video, and a big thank you to the Huntsville Area Rocketry Association for hosting the launch this past weekend. I hope you found this helpful and you learned something that will help with your builds. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video. As a final bonus to close the video on, since most videos are a spectator focusing on the rocket the entire flight, I figure it'd be funny to see what happens when the rocket is focused on the spectators the entire flight. Enjoy!
3, 2, 1. That was a turn motor.